leaves a pungent smell. The population of Kumba in the Meme division of the southwest region of Cameroon were today invited to see the lifeless body of a man who, according to a senior divisional officer for the Meme division and military officials, is an unarmed separatist commander, Field Marshal, killed in the Libya-Lem of the southwest region of Cameroon. The body, according to our reporters in Kumba in the Meme division, could not be recognized. It was in an advanced state of decomposition. Also in this edition of the news, the warning signals sent to armed separatist leaders by the officials who are speaking in Kumba today. But just what did we see in Kumba is what Equinoxe television will be showing to you, ladies and gentlemen. Also in this edition of the news, we shall be talking sports, but the Erika Mulium issue is still making news across the Republic of Cameroon. With our guest tonight, we shall be analyzing the appointments and just what people stand to benefit when sons and daughters are appointed to key positions in Cameroon, from the subdivisional, divisional, regional to ministerial positions. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for making the right choice. The choice to get connected and be informed by our #1 television channel. It's Equinoxe. We're live from Douala, Cameroon. We call it the Prime Time Newscast. It is the 6 p.m. news on Equinoxe, a complete edition of news in the French language, while many Cameroonians were waiting impatiently for the government of Cameroon to react through the Ministries of Communication and Defense on whether or not the Red Dragon commander, self-styled separatist commander, Field Marshal, was assassinated. It was the senior divisional officer for the Meme division, Ntundong Chamberlain, and the assistant chief military region commander for the southwest region, Colonel Zambo, who stepped forward to confirm that he has been killed by state forces. Meme senior divisional officer Ntundong Chamberlain, in the course of the event in Kumba in the Meme division of the southwest region today, sent a warning signal to other separatist commanders in other parts, notably to self-styled separatist general No PT in the northwest region of Cameroon. Innocent Azen, the following report says that the lifeless body presented to the people in Kumba today was beyond recognition. The body was in an advanced state of decomposition.
Is Oliver Lekiaka, aka Field Marshal, commander of the separatist dreaded group Red Dragons in Libya-Lem Division, Southwest Region, dead as announced and jubilated by elements of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, VB, after an operation.
So the kill of the forest has been killed, has been neutralized. He is the one just behind me. Field Marshal, you know it very well. He has killed more than 400% in Libya-Lem, includes Meme division. Today, he's the one laying there, officially and openly, like state representative, to encourage our forces of law and order for the work well done.
Displaying the purported corpse of the separatist warlords in Kumba, Meme division, a B official confirms Field Marshal's downfall is the collaborative result of the population and the defense and security forces. He says, according to Meme SDO and the B official, those refusing to surrender will have to follow the man who baptized himself as king of the forest to the grave.
That one is a testimony that all those who are not willing to surrender are going to face our forces of law and order. The head of state gave the way out to all who remain in the bushes to lay down their arms and join the remaining population in the development of this country. And he can said it previously that let those who remain in the bushes lay down their arms and join the remaining country in this move of development.
On behalf of the state forces, I beg our brothers in the bushes to drop down their weapons. Otherwise, they should get ready to die like Field Marshal.
De déposer leurs armes
I say so because no one is invincible. We are determined to put an end to the Anglophone crisis. Meme SDO Ntundong Chamberlain is sending a hot message to the remaining dangerous General No Pity in the Northwest region. He assures that there is no hiding place for General No Pity and others, expressing the belief his days are numbered. All of them will be neutralized one after the other, he stresses. It was a large curious crowd that turned out at the Bisek Junction Kumba to see the displaced corpse confirmed by the Meme SDO to be that of General Field Marshal, who had once said the woman to give birth to the man who shall murder him has not been born. Military attires, communication gadgets and weapons recovered during the operation were also displayed.
Innocent has a reporting that the body was in a state of decomposition and could not be easily recognized, and it should be noted that it was first of all taken to the manual division of the West region of Cameroon, according to information gathered on the scene in Kumba by our reporters. Security officials report that the lifeless body, said to be that of Field Marshal, was transported from the forest of Alo subdivision, that's in Lebialem of the Southwest region, to Chang in the Menua of the West region of Cameroon on Wednesday. It was later transported on board a helicopter, a military helicopter to be precise, to Kumba in the Meme and deposited at the Mabanda B camp, that is the camp of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, an elite unit of the Cameroon Defense and Security Forces, on Thursday at about 7:30 p.m. under heavy rainfall. Ntundong Chamberlain, Meme Senior Divisional Officer, was one of the authorities who witnessed the corpse arrival. The corpse was already emitting a pungent smell, yet the population of Kumba was invited to witness the display of the mortal remains of the Red Dragon leader, self-styled separatist General Field Marshal, according to information presented by Innocent and a group of reporters on the scene in Kumba. And the Southwest Regional Council President, Ilango Bakuma, has called on the people of the region not to only focus on Buea, but to give a look on the rest of the divisions, that is the 6 divisions that make up the Southwest region, to see and better appreciate the contribution to the development of the region by members of the Southwest Regional Council. He was speaking in an event bringing together Southwest Regional Councillors today in the Southwest Regional Chieftown. Derek Jato is the man on the story. Southwest region of Cameroon. After the report from Kumba, we rather stay in the Southwest before coming to Douala. We stay in the Southwest region to take on this report from Derek Jato. Derek Jato, who says that the president of the Southwest Regional Assembly has called on inhabitants of the region not to only look at Buea or the Fako division, but look at the other divisions that make up the region in order to be able to better appreciate the works of the regional council. The President Bakuma Ilango was speaking in Buea during the 3rd ordinary session of the Southwest Regional Assembly. Derek Jato.
The 3rd ordinary session of the Southwest Regional Assembly has been convened in Buea and devoted to the presentation of the mid-year execution of the 2022 budget, examine the draft standing orders and the draft organizational chart for an effective Southwest Regional Assembly.
After brainstorming for 2 days, they have adopted it.
Zacchaeus Bakuma Ilango, President of the Southwest Regional Assembly, also added that the Southwest population should note that the structure is operating all over the 6 divisions that make up the Southwest region.
When people say they do not see what the Regional Assembly is doing, the Regional Assembly is not Buea. Our activities transcend across the 6 divisions of the region. We have 52 projects They have already signed 30 contracts. So there are 22 other files before the tenders board, which will be forwarded to me.
Chief Dike Richard, a member of the Southwest House of Chiefs, representing Fako Division, also enumerated with satisfaction some projects that have been realized in Fako Division.
Fako is one of those divisions which have benefited a lot with projects. The IC Center in Boya Hospital here, borehole water in Lower Boando, electrification project also in Moyuka, health materials to the General Hospital in Chico, and about 2 bikes to enable the staff for their movement.
Observations seem to be positive.
We are there to serve our population. We are there to serve our region. And I think so far we have been attaining that objectives.
And Southwest Governor Bernardo Kalia Bilai, who represented the state at the session, called for consistency.
Effective follow-up of each of those projects impatiently awaited by the beneficiaries.
After being at the center of the 2-day session, Senator Mbela Moki Charles, on his part, called on the Southwest population to encourage the Regional Assembly.
We accompany them as a regional body in ensuring that they continue because they are results-oriented.
Every eye is watching with a lot of interest on the words and actions of the Regional Assembly as they negotiate this mid-year burn of the 2022.
But if you had to measure the effectiveness of the regional assemblies on the local population in terms of resolving basic problems and taking the challenges of the people of Lum in the Mungo of the Littoral region, then you will be tempted to think that they are not working enough or not resolving the challenges of the people, because the people of the Lum town, that is the town of Lum in the Mungo, still have serious water crisis even after the putting in place of the regional assembly. Part of the Littoral region is yet to respond to that challenge of the people. There are long queues of individuals trying to fetch the precious liquid. Annabella takes us to the challenges of the people of the town of Lum in getting the precious liquid water.
This is where the inhabitants of Lum, a locality in the Mongo division of the Littoral region, fetch water. Be it for household chores, cooking or drinking, the water sources in Lum are of doubtful quality. Water here has none of the qualities of potable water. It has taste and color. Due to frequent water cuts in the area, the people of Lum, especially little children, are obliged to trek long distances, stand in long queues as they wait for a turn to fetch water, which most times is contaminated. While still, the indigents brave every odd late at night in search of the precious liquid. Seeing all the difficulties faced by the local population, some benevolent individuals have offered a borehole to the town of Lum.
It's a God blessing that if someone is motivated by the Almighty God, then you are easy in the public. That's why our Jamaat, Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, through the humanity first, we are serving to the people because God has given us that spirit to serve the mankind, and without any race, without any religion, without any area. So that is the intention which brings us all over the world, not only Cameroon.
The locals are contented and wish the authorities could copy and construct more boreholes in Lum so the population could have access to potable water.
Annabella reporting for. We take you back to the city of Douala to the story of Erika Molium, who got involved in an accident with Cameroon's urban artist Tenor, and family members and friends and well-wishers of the late student Erika Molium, who was a student at the St. Jerome University, today met at the school, that is a St. Jerome Catholic University of Douala, for a memorial service in honor of the deceased, Erika Mulium. It should be recovered. She died after an accident involving her and Cameroon's urban music artist Tenor on their way back from a night show a year after a year one student of the university left behind friends and family members in deep shock. The family members say they are yet to come to terms with the sudden and tragic departure of Erika Mulium. The case is in court, and the case beating the family and urban artist has faced questionable adjournment several times. The case remains in the Newberg. He was expected to be detained in the Newberg prison but was released. The artist is going about freely, but family members say there is more to his freedom, and they are determined to give justice to the deceased year one student of the university, while the Reverend Father preached about vigilance, prudence, truth. He also encouraged the family members to remain strong, knowing Erika has been received by God. At the end of the offering was given while they chanted songs of consolidation. A reporter on the field was Esie Lucy, who compared face for us. I think it's time for us to talk sport in this edition of the news. We're starting with local sports in Cameroon, taking you to Opopo in Limbe, that's in the Fakwa of the southwest region of Cameroon. The president says that a fraction of the team is doing everything to pull down the morale of the Limbe-based football club, that is Victoria United, also known as Opopo, ahead of the Southwest Mini Interpol, whereas they have as objective to qualify not only for the competition within the region, but also to represent the Southwest region at the level of the National League 2 Championship in Cameroon. A reporter in Limbe, Davison Mamo, tells us that the club has suffered an attack from armed individuals. His report.
Thief operated here and they took our phones, they took our purse, many things, and they went with it. They had weapons, they had guns and cutlasses that they came to see our president. But if we want to disturb them, they will harm us the more. But if we stay quiet, they will operate and do what they want to do and they will leave. That's what they told us.
Victoria United Football Club President Quine Valentine Bob Didi says he is suspecting a break-up faction of the club is behind the act.
Break things and then cut the cameras, destroy a lot of things. They want about 10 million. I know the suspects are not far away from me. So they should know that they are dealing with somebody who is in brainwave.
He says they are doing everything to break the morals of the players before the Southwest Mini Interpol finals.
It is a team of people who doesn't want Opopo to go ahead, who doesn't want this goal for this team to go to elite. They are against our vision. All these are to bring down the morals of the players.
To boost the morals of the players, the president offered new phones.
I'm sure the way I'm keeping up the players, encouraging them by refunding their phones that was taken, is going to beef the morale.
He assured the supporters that Victoria United shall not only qualify for the National Interpols come Saturday the 17th of July, but shall equally qualify into the National League 2 Championship.
You see, I bring a white coach because I want, the ambition I have for the team is CAF Championship. So you cannot talk of CAF Championship in 2 years' time. Why you don't start working now? You have to plant before you harvest.
Quine Valentine Bob Didi says he is the president of the club simply because he wants to give back to a community that made him who he is today.
I was born in this community. He made all my riches in Limbe. The little I can do, football gives joy, and I think that the people should benefit from this.
Victoria United, alias Opopo, remains one of the oldest football clubs in the Southwest region, and critics say the in-house fighting might affect the team's performance negatively.
And some coaches in Cameroon are blaming what they qualify as a change in a play style for the defeat of the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in the hands of the Super Falcons of the neighboring Federal Republic of Nigeria in a strategic match, counting for the quarterfinal matches of the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations in the Northern African country of Morocco. The coaches Fang Jimmy and Edwin Tete say if the Lionesses to defeat Botswana, then the coach, Gabriel Zabo, needs a rethink of strategy. We have due to his sportsman, Smart Jikan Gabriel.
The indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon were denied a direct FIFA World Cup ticket by the Super Falcons of Nigeria this Thursday after losing in their quarter-final game at the ongoing Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Sports analysts say the team was supposed to be more performant than what they have seen this far at the tournament. Some football trainers advance reason for the poor performance of the Lionesses.
The coach is trying to build up a new team. It's not the old team now. Most of those who have been playing with the team for long are not more there. And now we are building up a new team.
There's no steady philosophy or system of play that the Lionesses have been using. It's like it's now that they are trying to adapt to one or two system of play, which is bringing them confusion. I think like we see they were playing with 4-4-2, at times they will go to 4-3-3, at times like last but one match and even last match they played with 3-5-2.
In 4 matches played this far at the tournament, the Lionesses scored 3 goals, won 1, drew 2 and lost 1. If the competition is already ended for the Lionesses, they still have a chance to get a ticket that will enable them take part in the Intercontinental Playoff. Some football coaches have sent these words to their colleague, Gabriel Zabotoze.
All depends now for the Lionesses to put in, or the staff to put in a better disposition, because with the coming back of our 2 players who are absent, we will organize as well. We will put in this player, the fighting spirit that we did yesterday is going to make us qualify against Botswana.
The technical bench had to really look and understand with the players so that they can have the best system that can suit them to have the best performance.
Cameroon will take on Botswana this Monday in a repechage match which will enable them to clinch a ticket for the Intercontinental Playoff that will take place in New Zealand in February 2023.
Meantime, Nigeria and South Africa will play in the Women's World Cup next year. The 2 countries, Nigeria and South Africa, pushed at Cameroon and Tunisia respectively to seal their places in the World Football Soccer for the female folk. Smart Jikan Gabriel once again.
It was with songs of praise at the dressing room that Nigeria celebrated their victory over Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses, which gave them their 9th participation at the FIFA Women's World Cup, becoming the most capped African women's squad at the Women's World Showpiece event. A 56-minute goal by Rasheedat Ajibade handed the narrow victory to Nigeria. It was the 13th confrontation between Cameroon and Nigeria in all competition and the 9th defeat conceded by Cameroon in front of the Super Falcons, who have now scored 27 goals against Cameroon in all competition, while Cameroon have scored Nigeria just 6 goals in all confrontations. With the ticket to the Women's FIFA World Cup already at hand, the next target for Nigeria is the trophy, and to cross to the finals, they will have to pass through the host nation, Morocco, at the semi-finals. Joy was also felt at the dressing room of the Banyana of South Africa. They have just qualified for a back-to-back Women's FIFA World Cup. A lone goal by Germaine Sioposinwe enabled the girls of coach Desiree Ellis to defeat Tunisia in Rabat, Morocco by 1-0. South Africa made their maiden World Cup final appearance in France 2019. South Africa will meet Zambia on Monday in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations semi-final fixture.
That's all we had as far as the first part of the news is concerned. We're coming up with talking points. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. Thanks for joining us on Talking Points. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're receiving a political analyst. He's in Buea, chief town of the southwest region of Cameroon. Mr. Sama Abamugwa is our guest tonight. Mr. Sama, thanks for accepting our invitation.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Sander. Thank you once a week. I should be appreciating you once more for having me on your program.
Mr. Sama, we got to be talking political issues. We have as interest the fever in Nigeria heading to the general elections. But first, let's start from Cameroon. There's a question you probably didn't know I will ask you. I want to talk about an issue that I know happened close to your village of origin, if not directly in your village. Some time ago, it was 4 years. 4 years when 15 persons were butchered. We qualify it as the Tiben butchery. Can you remember that, Mr. Sama? And of course, we're hoping to get to him to talk about what we qualify as the Tiben butchery, that it was in the Batibo subdivision of the Momo in the northwest region of Cameroon. It was a situation where 15 persons were killed in a house. And of course, the sad incident, according to Lucas, has been underreported. It's been the 4th anniversary. Monday before this weekend was the 4th anniversary since the unfortunate incident. The people think that not much attention was given to the incident, so their brothers and sisters and mothers killed ruthlessly in a house in part of the conflict-stricken northwest region of Cameroon. The question was coming within the context of the recent display of the lifeless body of Field Marshal in Kumba today. We're having Mr. Sama back. Mr. Sama, just before we talk politics and general election fever in Nigeria, I was talking about the Tiben butchery. It's in the Batibo subdivision of the Momo in the northwest region of Cameroon, one of the underreported atrocities committed in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sander. It was on a painful 12th of July 2018 that denizens of Tiben village in Batibo subdivision had their own unfair share of the atrocities that have come to characterize the ongoing Anglophone crisis in the northwest and the southwest region, where the people found themselves as victims of a crossfire exchange battle between Amber Boys and the regular military forces, resulting to the death of, there were 12, there were 16 persons in the house as we got. 12 were killed in cold blood. One elderly person survived, and the 3 children who were in the house were spared. So to set the records right, actually, there were 12 who were killed on the scene, reportedly by men dressed in regular military uniform. Unfortunately, as you said, this is just one of the hundreds of either underreported or unreported or poorly reported incidents that would have to go into the annals of the history of this country as far as the Anglophone crisis is concerned. It happened in Moyuka, it happened in Pinyin, it happened in Ngarbu, it happened recently in a part in Menchum division, it happened in Bamali and Bamesing, where we have seen Cameroonians across the board, be the Amber fighters, be the suspected Amber fighters, be the military men and civilians, have been caught in the crossfire and have been killed. Unfortunately, the case of Tiben is peculiar because very little was ever said about it, apart from a report that was carried out by the non-governmental association of Felix Agbobala in Congo. Nothing was ever said officially. There was no official government statement with respect to that unfortunate incident. We do not know whether it was a show of complacency or there was some intention to hide facts or hide truth. But I think that it is an untold story about a hitherto very quiet village of Tibet, which is still engraved in the minds of the people 4 years along the line. I'm sure every year the people of that peaceful community would have time to sit and meditate and pray for the peaceful repose of 12 of them who were killed without justification. We expect that by such exposures, investigations would be carried out, and even if nobody has to be punished, but we think that blames should be laid where they are due, and so that it will help the people in their healing process, and it will also help to serve as a deterrent for those who take delight in taking away human life.
Thank you very much. That's very important. As you cited, there are several of these cases in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon, some underreported, some unreported, and of course the Tiben case might just be one that will push those concerned with investigating and getting justice to go into swing into action. And just before we go back to Nigeria, I want you, in your position, a political analyst and also a social analyst and social critic, to give your view, your reaction and appraisal of the current display of the lifeless body of the man. The SGO for the Meme Division says it's no pity, as the same statement was reported by Army General Zabo, who is the assistant commander of the CIF military B region in Kumba. What's your reaction on all this since the news came out that he was killed, and finally what we saw in Kumba today?
Like every concerned Cameroonian, I am touched by the fact that we keep losing lives in a senseless war which could have been averted, or which could have been mitigated, and should I say actually nipped at its bud, if we knew where we were going to and we knew where we were coming from. But unfortunately, for several reasons, we have found ourselves at a crossroads where we didn't intend, where we didn't bargain for. It is not in anybody's interest as a sane Cameroonian that we should take delight to display corpses, human body parts, atrocious activities as a trophy of war. We saw recently the case of Mbiame, how Amba fighters, after killing and cutting away the lifeless body of the gendarmerie commander of that territorial region, displayed the corpse on a field and chopping away body parts. It is not in anybody's interest that the military would transport a lifeless, decomposing body all the way from the forest of Lebialen and would not even display it in the divisional headquarters of that division, which is Menji. They will transport it all the way with the financial costs involved to Kumba to make a point. I think at the end of the day, the military would have scored a point by taking away one other danger, one other threat, but to go down to the despicable level of displaying corpses, I wonder whether the military is fighting a battle of recognition and, should I say, authenticity or proof with anybody. I wonder whether that particular act of displaying a decomposing corpse with all the health risk would score any additional point. The death of Field Marshal Oliver Lekeka is definitely a plus. Nobody can take that away. It's a plus. However, his death came about, whether from an insider, as we hear, that he was killed by his own, while some tell us that he was betrayed to the military and it is an act of the military, whatever the means to his death, I think it is a plus that the military has taken away one other danger, one other threat. But again, we saw that how the body of the late General Mba Ivo, who was killed in Teke, was also displayed as a trophy, and we saw military men drinking to stupor to celebrate his death. We saw in the case of the other general who was killed in Lebialem Ayeke. But again, what we ask ourselves is 2, 3, 4 years down the line, after celebrating those presumed victories, what have we achieved? Have we not seen that the situation is deteriorating day by day? Which means that there is more to it than these celebrations and this fanfare. There is more that is supposed to be done than this obnoxious public display of trophies of war, because at the end, that is not what wins the war for you. What wins the war is engaging in the instruments and strategies that would bring the war to an end, rather than those that perpetuate the war. I think that the military of this country is far above and far beyond what they are doing so far. If the war must be fought, let it be fought, but not on not on the sidewalks of public display and fanfare.
All right, thank you. In less than 3 minutes, we're going to be looking at the Nigerian election fever. Tinubu refusing a presidential debate organized by CNN. Is he afraid of the coming in place of Peter Obi? How do you get that?
The Peter Obi factor in Nigeria is similar to the Maurice Kamto factor in Cameroon.
Okay.
And Maurice Kamto came in and destabilized the existing status quo. And that is why you see the SDF in Cameroon is feeling the pinch of the arrival, the forceful arrival of the CRM party. The same thing is happening in next door Nigeria. And I just think that Tinubu is simply learning from the public display of betrayal that the president of Cameroon portrayed some 2-3 years back in Paris in front of Mo Ibrahim, when in an unprepared public interview he betrayed top-seated governmental secrets of how there was a plan to assimilate Anglophone. And you would bear with me that after that incident, after that catastrophic outing, the president of Cameroon has never been seen to grant an interview in public again unprepared. Tinubu is not really the type of politician like Osibajo, the outgoing vice president of Nigeria.
All right.
He's not really like the type of politician like Peter Obi, and so he's simply taking his guards.
Okay.
He would not want to be exposed.
Thank you.
He would not want to be ridiculed. So I think that he's just being cautious, and I want to assure you that.
All right. Thank you very much for very interesting analysis there, Mr. Sama Abamugwa. You are connected from Buea in the southwest region of Cameroon. We happy you accepted our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with your #1 television channel, Equinoxe. Interesting programs continue. Today, you're going to be having Equinoxe from Yaoundé, Cameroon. Interestingly, the news in the French language, a full package will be from Douala. That will be at 8 p.m. I'll be back here tomorrow, Saturday, at 8 p.m. for a bilingual edition of news. Still Equinoxe.